Now, from WNYT, this is Forum 13.
And then, are you paying too much to power your home? We can help you find out. If you want to, go get your National Grid or NYSEG bill now, and in a little bit, we'll help you read through it. For the first time, you may actually know what you're getting charged for. By the way, there are credits on there, too, which I didn't realize until I took a close look. All right, we're joined by Stephen Wemple, who is the New York State Chair of the Retail Energy Supply Association. He's also Vice President with ConEdison Competitive Shared Services, but he's here representing the Retail Energy Supply Association. We're going to be talking electricity, right, Steve?
Yes.
Thanks very much for joining us. How has the energy market changed for the consumer, say, in the last 20 years?
Well, on the electricity side, in the last 10 years, there have been some significant changes. New York State told the investor-owned utilities to basically sell off their generating plants and go to a market mechanism that if a customer stays with the utility, they get a pass-through of the market price. And what happened at the same time, the New York Commission allowed competitive marketers, energy services companies, to be set up and be registered by the Commission to sell to consumers. So just like you have a choice of phone, cable, and internet, you can now choose your electricity supplier. And that's been a choice that's been out there for close to 10 years. Most customers aren't yet aware of it, but we're up to about close to 20% of New York State's customers have chosen. 1.2 million out of the 6.6 million eligible customers have switched from the utility and are taking electricity supply from a competitive supplier. So
80%, the offer's been out there, but 80% then of customers who get electricity into their home are not taking advantage of the offer to perhaps to take a look around, shop around, and perhaps find cheaper electricity.
Find cheaper electricity or find products and services that aren't available from the utility. For example, they can choose a renewable product. A lot of the marketers are also
like wind or
solar or hydro. Mm-hmm. A lot of the marketers are also offering additional value-added services, either demand response, efficiency, some home appliance work as well. Each marketer has their own business plan. And
home appliance work, what do you mean?
Some of the appliance maintenance programs. So you can choose my gas supplier in my residence down in Westchester as a maintenance program for my furnace as well.
So you'll come in and service clean my furnace once a year, and if it breaks down, you'll come and fix it.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so we get things in the mail from various energy suppliers who are not our primary billers. Like I'm National Grid. Mm-hmm. I'll get something in the mail from Agway and a number of others. You said there are maybe 16 in the capital region?
There are 21 in the National Grid, Niagara Mohawk territory, that are selling electricity to residential customers. Mm-hmm. So if you go to the Public Service Commission's website, you can see that list of 21, and the prices are refreshed weekly. And you can look up and basically price shop among all of those 21 suppliers.
So they're offering me reduced rates. Are they really that reduced? I mean, how much might I save?
Typically, it varies depending on whether you're locking in a fixed price or a variable product. The simplest comparison is through the referral program that the utilities run, where if you call up the utility, they will actually tell all customers that they have the option to choose a supplier, and the utility is authorized to actually enroll the customer with a group of marketers. Those marketers that participate in this program guarantee that the customer will save 7% for the first 2 months of their supply, mm-hmm. and then get an offer that can either be fixed or variable, and it's the customer's choice to either renew with that marketer, change marketers, or go back to the utility.
All right, so a year passes, and say you've been with whomever, right? I mentioned Agway again, and I'm just trying to remember other names. I want to be fair about this, but anyway, so it's one of those guys. Do you renew? Does it automatically expire? Do you get to review what you're paying, especially if you're on a variable?
The Commission has a set of rules that spell out some of the consumer protections that customers have. There is the option to have what's called a negative option renewal, where as long as the marketer clearly tells the customer what the terms are, those terms can go into effect with adequate notice. It's the same way if your phone or your cable, if there's a rate change, they'll tell you about the rate. You've got the option to change suppliers if you don't like it, or in the case of the energy markets, you've got the option to even go back to the utility if you don't like what the marketers are offering you. But yes, the terms are specified. There was recently, in addition, some legislation that requires all of those terms to be spelled out in what's referred to as a Schumer box. It's much in the way the credit cards put out all of the information up front so you know what your renewal terms are, whether there's a termination fee, and what the rate will be.
All right. Well, okay. So I have my energy bill here, and there are things when you look at it, it's like, delivery I get. I'm looking at the electricity side of things because again, that's your expertise. So, basic service is covering what?
Your basic.
I paid $16.21 there for basic service.
That is a fixed charge that goes to the utilities infrastructure. So that's part of your delivery charge.
All right. But then my next one is delivery. I paid $53.36 for that.
That's the volumetric portion of the utility delivery charge. At the highest level...
How much electricity was delivered to me?
And there are the components of the supply. The utilities typically have fixed customer charges, which is the basic service charge, and then a volume charge. And for larger customers, they might have a demand charge, where based on your peak usage, they'll actually have a ratchet that you'll pay based on your highest usage for that month. In these rate proceedings, the utilities unbundle the bill, and it winds up having a lot of different charges. Some of these are state-imposed charges to fund some of the renewable procurement.
Right, okay, well, let's go. Okay, there's a customer service credit, but that's giving me a half penny back.
Yes.
And a consolidated billing credit, which is giving me a half penny. What are those? I get a half penny back, so I got a whole cent out of those too.
The consolidated bill is right now. If you choose a marketer, you have the option of either getting two bills, or the utility can provide a consolidated bill where they include the marketer's charges.
National Grid and my supplier, because I have an alternative supplier. I'm one of the. What is it, 20%?
One of the 20%, one of the 1.2 million customers who have chosen, which is good.
Feel very special. Delivery adjustment, that cost me $46. Now, I already paid delivery, paid $53 for delivery, and then I paid another $46 for delivery adjustment.
Yes, that still is the utilities delivery charge, and they have a lot of credits and debits based on the terms of their rate case. You can still call. Even if you were with the utility, you'd be seeing that as a credit or a charge on your bill. So any questions related to that, you'd want to go back to National Grid and ask them to explain those components.
Do you know what it is, though?
Do I know? No, because I haven't read the National Grid delivery tariffs. We focus on the commodity charge, which I'm hoping you'll get to in just a second.
All right, then there's a something state assessment, INCR. I don't know if that's increased or incremental. State assessment, that's a tax?
That's a tax. New York State wonderfully passed an assessment in this spring's budget that basically imposes a 3% surcharge on all electricity and gas usage. And that was a means to close the budget gap.
Then there's it says SBC/RPS, and that was $6.
That's your systems benefit charge and your renewable portfolio credit. That is statewide dollars that New York State is collecting from all ratepayers, whether you choose a supplier or not, and it goes to the New York State Energy Research Development Authority, NYSERDA, and they offer a variety of incentives and rebates for people who install energy efficiency measures, and they also go out and contract with new renewable power developers to try to meet the state's goals of 25% of the energy coming from renewable energy by 2013.
All right. Transmission revenue adjustment. Oh, that was a credit, actually. I got a half penny back. And tariff surcharge. Sounds like a tax. All right.
So at the end of the day, you've got a whole bunch of charges from the utility, but a portion of it are related to the market supply charge, or the commodity piece of the bill. It's that part that if you choose a marketer, you're getting the marketer's charges instead of National Grid's charges.
Right.
And that's the piece that if you're still with the utility, they list it every month. They say this month your market supply charge or commodity
my electricity supply from my supplier is $104.
Yes. And then that'll be listed on a unit rate basis. Maybe that's 10 cents a kilowatt hour. And then you can go to the Public Service Commission's website and see a whole slew of different competitive offers, 21 of them to be exact.
Yeah. Is Public Service Commission?
The Public Service Commission maintains that. And all marketers have to post to the commission what their standard rate is.
This is a good chart to refer to at the PSC, because you will see it'll be lined up sort of like when you're looking at mortgage rates.
It's lined up
alphabetically.
alphabetically.
21 or so suppliers and what they're charging per kilowatt hour?
Per kilowatt hour.
You're thrilled right now because right now you're on top, right? The company you work, right now you're the cheapest one.
Right now, ConEd Solutions has the lowest fixed-priced option. There are also variable-priced options that are less expensive, but those vary month to month.
Yes, I think a lot of people don't realize ConEd in any way, shape, or form is available up there. But in your supplier rule, it is.
We compete throughout the Northeast. We sell as far away as Maine and Texas, even though our traditional utility service territory is down in New York City and Westchester. Right. And similarly, the other 11 members of the Retail Energy Supply Association also have a similar footprint and are selling a variety of products and services throughout the East Coast, down in Texas, as far west as California, and it's a vibrant market throughout much of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast.
Yeah, interesting note, because I asked you, I mean, because obviously ConEd is an enormous presence in the energy supply field south of us, downstate. And I asked you, aren't you sort of competing with yourself in ConEd, the great big, and you said, yeah, really. But you guys got in because you just knew, I mean, you would lose, if you weren't in it, you'd lose business to others?
Well, the utilities are right now in their rate cases, they're indifferent to whether a customer stays with them or shops from a competitive supplier. They don't make any profit on the commodity charge. So when New York State deregulated back in the mid-1990s, we corporately made a decision that we wanted to still maintain a relationship with the customer. If we couldn't do it on the utility side, we wanted to do it on the competitive side. So that's when we set up ConEdison Solutions, and we started selling in some of the initial pilots up in upstate New York. We were competing back in 1997 for customers when they sort of opened up the market in dribs and drabs. The market didn't fully open until really 1999 when the New York ISO set up a wholesale market to get prices transparent, and that's when things opened up statewide.
You know, staying with the ConEd example, in fact, because it sort of gives some perspective to whether or not people should make the leap, the 80% who haven't gone to these alternative suppliers. Because I asked you, I said, if I'm a ConEd customer, and I say, well, I want to go with the ConEd alternative supplier, I'll reduce my rate, right? Even though I stayed within ConEd in a way.
You can sign up through ConEd Solutions and any of the other marketing companies that are participating in the Power to Choose referral program and get a 7% discount for the first 2 months that you choose to enroll with the utility. The utilities are so embracing competition that if you call the normal utility call rep and ask about anything, setting up your account, a bill question, a metering question, they'll answer that, but they'll also talk to you and say, by the way, Phil, did you know you have the ability to choose of a competitive supplier? And if you so elect, the utility can actually enroll you with ConEdison Solutions or any of the other participating marketers.
So you get 7% discount for 2 months. Some suppliers offer even longer discounts. Maybe 4 months.
ConEd Solutions doubles down and extends the 2-month introductory offer to 4 months.
And did you tell me the variable, if I went with the variable rate, it would never go above what my bill would have been if I just stayed with standard old ConEd?
Yes. There are also products out there listed on the Commission's website where marketers basically have a market pass-through, and they try to track the price that you would have paid with the utility, and they ensure that you won't see a big discount, but you'll see a discount and you'll save money compared to the utility. So there's no risk.
There's no risk. You can't lose, really.
You can't lose. The utility is still maintaining the wires and pipes. They're there to respond to emergencies, and all you're doing is putting a little bit more cash in your pocket and having the ability to choose from extra products and services, because it's not always about price. It's about a third of our customers, residential customers, have chosen a green product because they want to do the right thing and either buy a wind or a wind hydro mix. Other marketers offer demand response or efficiency programs, or even appliance repair and maintenance programs.
All right. Two important websites I think to mention real quick. One is the PSC, because it has a list of what everybody's rates are, and it changes weekly, right?
Yes.
And what's the website on that?
www.ny.psc. Can we post that up later?
You can Google it. You can Google it.
Yes.
And otherwise, yours association, Retail Energy Supply Association.
RESE.org.
Okay, and we have a link at our website, wnyt.com. And I'm sure if you Google PSC and throw in NY, I'm sure you will find their site. Steve Wemple with New York State Retail Energy Supply Association. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. It's an interesting subject. There's a lot to learn there.